Well, Israel is one of the loudest voices calling for a tougher line on Iran's nuclear program, but Israel's own nuclear capability has never been put to inspection.
Do you think Israel has nuclear weapons?
Oh, everybody knows that they have. I don't only think.
Prime Minister Ben-Gurion of Israel arrives at Princeton, New Jersey to call on Dr. Albert Einstein, one of the world's greatest scientists, the father of relativity and the man whose physics formula led the way to the atomic explosion. Plays host to the leader who
David Ben-Gurion was fascinated with nuclear energy, and he feared for Israel's security. In the late 1950s, he initiated a national nuclear weapons project.
Israel's leader Ben-Gurion was summoned to Washington. President Kennedy feared an arms race in the Middle East and demanded inspections. But when inspectors finally entered the plant in May 1961, they were tricked. They were shown a fake control room on the ground floor. They were unaware of the 6 floors below where the plutonium was made. In 1969, Israel's Golda Meir and Richard Nixon struck a deal renewed by every president to this day. Israel's nuclear program could continue as long as it was never made public. It's called nuclear ambiguity. Today, proliferation experts report Israel has the world's 6th largest nuclear arsenal, with small tactical nuclear weapons, nuclear landmines, as well as medium-range nuclear missiles launchable from air, land or sea.
If everyone knows that Israel has nuclear weapons, why the shroud of secrecy? It just makes us look like we are espousing a double standard, which maybe we are.
We saw the case of the technician from the Dimona reactor, Mordechai Vanunu, who gave an exclusive interview to Sunday Times back in 1986 with some pictures that were very specific in identifying the installation in Dimona as being a nuclear military reactor.
It took weeks for the Sunday Times to go to press with their scoop. When they finally did on October the 5th, 1986, Vanunu had vanished.
Talks in New York have failed after the U.S. Senate's allies opposed a nuclear weapons-free Middle East plan. The proposal demanded a conference on creating a nuclear weapons-free zone in the Middle East.
From the Israeli point of view, this demand and Israel signing the NPT, the consequences might be horrendous. Israel nuclear facilities are put under inspection, and Israel could not or cannot continue to maintain the policy of nuclear vagueness.
Ambiguity is a luxury unique to Israel. Today, the country's an inspection-free zone, protected from scrutiny by America and her allies.
Israel's possession of nuclear weapons and its refusal to engage with the international community has become the greatest impediment to universality of this treaty, and Israel is the single most violator of this international regime, which is a requirement.
Israel's parliament had never debated Dimona or nuclear weapons until one MP forced them onto the agenda for the first time. Issam Mahul, an Israeli Arab, broke the taboo to the outrage of his colleagues. He wasn't allowed to finish his speech, but he'd made his point.
According to the Guardian newspaper, Western governments, including Britain and the US, turn a blind eye to Israel's nuclear weapons, despite them having violated countless international laws and treaties, which ban nuclear tests and restrict traffic in nuclear materials.
Clearly, we have a huge problem. How do we deal rationally with the Israeli alleged 300-plus nuclear weapons and the sense of hypocrisy or